The next morning after my abortive test drive, and I'm pretty sure I've blown a gasket somewhere. The throttle stuck again, and I can see the reason why. If you look up there, after going to all the trouble of moving the scoop over, I forgot to take into account that the grill actually protrudes back into the space enough to catch on that little ball joint there again. So I'm going to have to rework this bell crank, give me more clearance at the end there. But also it's pretty evident that there's a blown gasket here, and I think also I can see that the gasket's been leaking here. See how it's slightly burnt from, there must have been a backfire, and so I think it's pretty evident that I've probably got a manifold leak. I put this down as much as anything to the fact that there's no blow-off valve, so I'm going to have to fix the blow-off valve and get a new inlet manifold gasket, and make a new gasket here. Actually do a bit of serious fettling, mainly reworking that throttle linkage. That's got to be one of my first things to do. See, I have actually got myself a blow-off valve, and from what I can gather, this side connects to the pressurized side, that side vents back to the inlet manifold, and this here connects to manifold vacuum. So I'm going to have to provide a spigot for this to connect to manifold vacuum onto this fitting here. Okay, so that's why after the little over rev it's running like a dog. As I said, my plan is to make a new bell crank, and that's what I've done. Fabricated this one up out of steel, and I've got to weld it up now. Should get the pivot point for that little push rod down a bit lower. The difference in weight is going to be negligible. Hold these slippers. That's springing back quite nicely. Just what we need. Excellent. And that's one problem solved. On to the next one. I have been busy. As you can see, I've made up the inlet manifold for the vacuum side of the Supercharger, and here's my blow-off valve. Okay, I'm going to take the carburetor off now so that I can test fit the new manifold that I've made. As you can see, I've actually had to make a hole in the bonnet to clear the top of the dash pot. Well, that's sort of gummied up the way I plan to do it. I'm going to weld this pipe onto here, probably about there, but if you look up there on the wall, I have this section of punctured stainless steel. I could fold up a nice little box that covers the air filter out of that. I could even just sort of leave it sitting out like that. Sort of, my only concern is that there's nothing then to just stop someone undoing the air filter. So I think some sort of little cage or something over that would be the way to go. Anyway, I'll think about that a bit more and see how I go.